broad outline, I ended up toning the canvas area. I put like a little kind of grayish. I did that just so to kind of fill up the page, you know. It feels better. I can just lighten things and darken things. And then I'm going in with a darker gray, putting a very basic, just a very, very, very basic broad proportion that I could follow. So I'm kind of going over the angle of the teeth. You know, going into the eyes a little bit. What I did was I made the resolution a little bigger. And that's just so I can, you know, really place things a lot. I mean, that's just because I can go into more detail. So I normally start on a low resolution, maybe like 72 dots per inch, and then I raise it higher as I get into more detail that I need. The reason for that is it's just the computer's slow, so I do that just to kind of save, you know, lagging time. And right now I'm working on his stomach. I'm gonna make it like kind of a ghost torso for him. Maybe change the design a little bit. I'm gonna put some teeth on him. Made like some sharp fangs. Toying, and right now I'm still toying with ideas, you know. And I'm going with line art. So I'm grabbing a hard brush and I'm shrinking it to make it like I'm using a pencil. And right now I'm literally drawing, you know, with paint. As I think, who said that? I think Carlos Huante said something like that. He does a lot of his things like that. So I'm going in darker and darker. I want to go into, you know, I'm going to make them all sharp because I just thought that looks kind of better. And going into the body more, putting in body folds. The body type's a little different, you know. It's not my normal body type. He's got like a potato sack body, and I'm trying to really, I'm toying with things, you know. Right now I'm just darkening the nose, kind of the gaps of the eyes, not gaps of the eyes, you know, the brow line, putting in darks. Because I still want the central focal point to be in the eyes. When something has a face, the focal point's almost always going to be around the face, you know, the eyes, really. So, I'm going into the teeth more. Trying to figure out how the shadows would work in a case like this. I want to give them a lighter background. Instead of shading in all that other space, I can just lighten things up. That's the reason for the toned paper. Going into more detail, you know, and this kind of goes to the subject matter that I like to do. I like doing ghosts and monsters and things like that on my own time because it's extremely entertaining. You know, it is so much fun to do, and that's kind of like my niche. You know, that my thing that I like. You know, it's hard to find yours. I know people have asked, find your niche, you know. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? It's just whatever you like drawing the most. That's pretty much it. You just end up getting better at that because you like drawing it so much. One of my buddies, he draws nothing but pinups. That's all he does, and he's great at it because that's all he does. Just be careful about falling into a comfort zone. Alright, I'm going over with another layer, an overlay layer, several of them, and I'm toying with the color. So I'm thinking maybe making it entirely green because he's gonna be green, but I'm just kind of rendering out a little bit. I'm really bouncing around in this particular painting. Continuing here, just to kind of render out the teeth and shape them out, trying to give some form here. So what was I saying? Yeah. Oh, finding your niche. Oh, okay. Anyways, be careful about the comfort zone thing, because I remember I was stuck in my comfort zone of doing monsters and things, like, forever. That's like all I would do, and I would not get better at other things I needed to get better, you know, like cars or people or, you know, like backgrounds. I mean, I hate doing backgrounds, but, you know, it's important. You want to be a well-rounded artist, you know. You want to be able to do anything. If someone says, "Hey, can you do this?" You're like, "Yep." Because when you work, whether it be freelance or whatever it is, someone's gonna ask you to do something you don't know how to do. And you know, you can't just say, "Hey, I don't know how to do that. Sorry." You know, I mean, I guess you have a choice of turning it down, but you shouldn't really. You should just you're a professional. You should be able to take everything if you know the everything dealing with is correct. I'm going over highlights right now. Trying to make the highlights yellow. I'm toying with the outer layer. I'm bouncing all over. I'm all over the map on this particular one. This is very random. I'm just mostly just fooling around. I'm fooling around with different shades and different tones and different you know, different ideas that are going through my head. Anyways, but about sticking in your comfort zone. Yeah, you want to be well-rounded. If someone says, "Hey, can you do this?" You gotta say yes, even if you have no clue how to do it. You'll find a way to do it. You know, you'll figure it out. There's always a way to figure it out. We have something that the past artists never had. I'm using the Lasso Tool now, by the way. That's one of the best tools ever. It's a selection tool that you can draw out the line, so you can create tones in the back by selecting that area and just blocking it in with a bit of value there. And continue to shape out the hand. Alright, continuing. I'm pulling back a little bit, trying to see how it's looking. The more jobs you do, the more you'll, you know, the more you'll learn, you know, because you kind of like, if I had a job a while ago, I had to do sharks, so I looked up tons of reference on sharks. I learned so much about sharks, and you know, a lot of that is you're learning on the job. So you don't have to know every single thing before working. You know, you learn as you're going. You know, you're building confidence and you're learning. So just be really open to changing things. Don't get stuck in the same old thing for years. It's good, but I mean, there's a point where you're kind of like, it's just muscle memory, and you're not progressing anymore. It's time to really experiment with other things. I'm working on tech right now because I never do tech, and that's become a really big deal for me right now. It's really hard. It's extremely hard for me. Going in, trying to make those more even. I want to make it seem like he's coming out of the some sort of zone, so I'm making it flat, putting a light, putting some more light value behind him. I still going around his armpits, putting in like darker, where it would be darker basically in his armpits. Continue to go into different details, trying to make things a little more clear. I'm gonna leave his hand just as is, as a shape. I'm shaping out his other hand. Alright, going into the teeth again. What I did was I put a layer, overlay layer above it, and I put in that reddish purple. And the reason for that is I thought the colors needed to change, really. I didn't want it all green. I don't want it to be monochromatic. And I added some more yellow to his face. I want that part of his face to be more yellow. And I put some maybe lightning coming out of his eyes. The reason I did that, I thought it makes him look more devilish. I'm continuing to go in with different colors now. I'm trying to just paint now. Straighten things out, move things here, move things there. I'm messing with his gum line. I want to make him evil looking. It's just basically for brushes in this particular painting, I am going back and forth between a hard brush and a hard brush and a soft brush. Very simple ones, the most basic they have on the list. There's also one or two texture brushes I use. I don't remember the number. It is very basic though. It is in the default settings, and I didn't use them over any other one for any reason. It was just I just happened to find that texture. I wanted a texture in general for his forehead. Continue to go in there. Whoops. I guess I flipped screens a little bit. I didn't even notice. Wow, that's funny. Wow, sorry about that. I'm going in back in, straightening out his teeth. And a lot of this is just fiddling around, really. You're gonna go over it in several layers. You're gonna go over it. You know, you're gonna draw it. You're gonna go over it with color. You know, you're gonna do the value first, then the color. Okay, the way I go into things is I usually go into things with value or line, and then after that I go into color. And then after color, I'm going to go into this refinement layer. Just completely, just all it is moving little shapes around. You're going to smooth it. You're going to finesse it for a long time. You're just going to finesse. And at this point, you're just, I'm at this point right now. I'm just finessing little things everywhere. You know, and some people hate it. Some people hate doing that. But I love it. I love finessing. There's this weird satisfaction that comes from it. It almost feels like you're smoothing out clay or something. But there's definitely some sort of gratification you get from that process. Continue to do that everywhere. So, and I think those two colors go pretty well together. Green, they're opposite, I believe, on the color wheel, I think. I don't have a color wheel in front of me right now. I'm making a little bit of light bounce onto him. I want to be absorbed in it. And continuing to shape and maybe add some value. I want it to really look at his eyes. You know, his eyes need to be lightest. I want the highest contrast would be in his eyes. I want those lightning bolts heading right toward his eye, even though they're coming out of it. I want everything to point right toward its upper face. And if you look at his whole body, it's a little dark on his lower body. And then it gets lighter as it gets up. It's kind of, think of the whole body, especially his. Think of it as an egg. And everything's going to be a little dark, and it's going to get the lightest toward his face. And the highest value, differentiation will be in the face. The highest contrast. And, alright. Just going through little minor details, which... I mean, with or without it, it wouldn't be. I mean, sometimes, okay, some things in certain paintings the details matter, but I don't know. This one, they might not. With or without them, I think it'd be fine. I mean, some guys will tell you the opposite, but I think, you know, if you get a strong base, things you put on it will be fine. It's like building a building. If you have all the structure there of the building, then all that other stuff is, you know, all the cool things on it'll be awesome. Alright, and that's it. He's coming out of an abyss there. He's got a little blue in the bottom. And if anybody please gives me some feedback. I did this one pretty fast. And yeah, give me some feedback, guys, some comments. I'd love it. If you have any requests, I would love to do requests. Wow. Please give me requests. And I'll make sure to do it, honestly. I'll try really hard to do what you can do. Make it a really crazy request. Also, please share this video. Share this video around and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to keep doing these. And, you know, I'm only here to do this because I find it extremely fun. So, thanks a lot, guys.